Hi Queens, welcome back to my channel. And finally we're doing the Q&A. It's been a little minute. We're just gonna get right into it. I'm not doing makeup or anything distracting. I wanna be able to just focus on the questions. So, we're just hanging out. Let's think of it like a live. Just hanging out, chit-chatting, catching up on all the things as we get into 2026. Happy New Year also. Okay. Also my top is Theatico. My jeans are Zara. They have the best jeans. And these are 12 p.m. Studios, of course. Of course. This is London Nude. Okay, now let's get into it. We're gonna start with the easy one and like a super fun one. This is, I would like to know if you cook or have a chef. My dream is to have a chef. I cook when I want to, which is not often. So most days we make just like easy things. We also treat like cooking like an activity. So we do HelloFresh. Me and Josh will cook that together, and that's typically like dinner. And then lunch, we're usually like eating tropical smoothie or sweet green, or like ordering something. Or like today we had like chicken salad and crackers. So we keep it pretty basic. We cooked last night and we had like turkey bowls, like just turkey and rice and like some vegetables. Trying to think, what do we have before that? But yeah, I would love to have a chef. That's my next goal. I literally was just talking to Josh about this, and I was like, I feel like this is not super expensive. It's one of those things you just think are expensive. That's how I thought about like having cleaners. Like in my mind, I thought it was like that's for rich people. But then when you like look into it, it's not that much. Like where we used to live, our cleaner was like one something every 2 weeks. I'm like, I would rather save somewhere else to spend that money to not have to clean my house. So I need to look into the chef situation. I need to look into that. If you know anyone, any recommendations, let me know. Do you feel like since launching your brand, the folks who cheered you on are still by your side supporting your growth, or has it affected relationships? I have a great circle, so yes, I feel like people are still on my side. They're equally as excited as I am about things and excited to celebrate, and and just like I think it's always great in an inner circle when you get to see someone do something first, and then it's like now you kind of have a roadmap. Like if any of my friends want to start a business, I kind of have, just things I can share with them and insight, and I'm kind of doing the risky stuff that they may not have to because I can learn for them. And same thing with like having people that have already done this. I can ask them the question so I don't make the same mistakes. So, will there be more house room tours? Probably not. The last one, I never say never. Like we just bought a dining table finally. I told you I wanted a new dining table. We had our round one from Lulu in Georgia for a really long time to me, like 4 years. But it really went with the last house, which was more of that like farmhouse kind of style. So I knew we wouldn't keep it forever, but it was great quality. So we kept it for a while, but I just found one from the Restoration Hardware Outlet. So I'd love to share that. And then we're still getting our bathroom worked on. It's still not done. So we'll see. We'll see. The house videos I like to share. I think it's helpful because I'm learning and I like to share things I'm learning. Well, people get so emboldened and rude. And I'm just like, it was never that deep to me. So we'll see. Oh, this is a good one. What were your financial parameters for starting 12 p.m. Studios? And I think they mean kind of like how did you get it off the ground? Like how did you get it going type of thing. And I think this is a great question because I am someone, I knew I would have some type of brand, but I also was very risk adverse. Like I don't mind working for the thing, doing all the things like behind the scenes that need to happen to make something successful, but I wasn't willing to bet my livelihood on a brand or to invest my livelihood to start a brand. That was something from the very beginning because I know myself. I kind of did that when I left my old job at Target and started this career, and like that was a very stressful experience of like sacrificing my way of life and my livelihood for a goal. It worked out, but I know how business can work. I know how owning something and being an entrepreneur can go, and I was not willing to risk my comfort, our livelihood, our savings, all the things that we've built over all these years into building a brand. Like it's a goal, and I'm very passionate about it, but it also I don't want to say it wasn't that serious, but like my life was still fulfilled if I started this brand or not, is my point. And I also knew that if my money was on the line, I don't know if it would have been done the best way. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of corners people will cut when their money is on the line. Not saying I still wasn't aware of all those things, but you make bad decisions when you're worried about the bottom line the most. So these are all the things I knew. So again, that was how I went into this project. Lucky for me, my agency, Kensington & Gray, who we've talked about them before, but I've been with them since the inception. Actually, I've been with them before they created the company. They wanted to start kind of a arm of their business called, I don't know exactly what they officially call it, but it's like an incubator, which is when a company kind of partners with people and creates brands for them. A lot of celebrities work with incubators, and that just means somebody that has a lot of resources already packed in so that you don't have to do all of the like guesswork, and you also don't have to waste a lot of money, right? Like you go to an incubator, like a lot of people that start like beauty brands, skincare brands, they will partner with the incubator and they already have like a warehouse to ship. They already have a factory that can make things. They already have the resources, so it cuts out a lot of the time and energy spent developing things. And you can kind of just go in with your idea. So they wanted to create that for the agency. And they were willing to practice on me, and I was willing to be practiced on. So we kind of came together and they put down the investment. And obviously they have, you know, a percentage or stake in they have stake in the company, a very small stake, but they have stake in the company. And that was honestly, again, I don't force things, though I feel like that was like what needed to align in some type of way for me to be comfortable going after something. Because again, I wasn't willing to risk it. That's just what it is. And I'm very grateful that they were already planning that for their business, and it just worked out where I was also already in the thought of like, if I did do something, this is what it would be. So yeah, it worked out. So the initial cost to start 12 p.m. was $200,000. Now that wasn't a like, I'm starting a brand, this is how much I think I need. That's just what was spent along the way, right? So it's one of those things where like so much trial and error of building the website, finding someone to do the branding for you and the voice and all of that stuff. Sampling over 2 years. We were just sampling things and trying to, you know, like make the right product, and then sampling the boxes and sampling like everything, the mailers and all of that stuff just adds up. So by the time we launched in July, we were like, okay, we need to make at least $200,000 to pay back technically the loan that we launched with. So that's that story. I hope that helps. And we were able to kind of pay that back immediately, which was very exciting. And obviously they had a lot of trust in me that like, you know, I'm a businesswoman. I don't really play. I'm not going to play with somebody's money. I just wasn't willing to risk mine. So that's that. I would like to know how you are balancing being a CEO of your own business and being an influencer at the same time. I'm not. It's very hard. It's harder than I anticipated. I'm finding more balance, and obviously I think it's just gonna come with time. November was really, 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 really hard. I feel like I haven't been that like stressed and felt that overworked in a long time. And it's a combination of like the industry changing and then having this additional workload. Last year, the industry changed as in brands really want their money's worth, and they're tired of being played by some creators, right? They're tired of not getting their return on investment. They're tired of not getting quality content. They're tired, like they want their money's worth every time. They're tired of people saying they're going to do one thing and turning in another thing, which means for everyone, they start having very unserious demands, right? Or giving you a hard time with approvals or asking for reshoots, like things that just I've never experienced. And I'm someone who, my goal is to always go above and beyond. Like I want every partnership to finish and I want them to be like, oh my God, we loved her. Can't wait to work with her again. And I produce pretty high quality content. So it was kind of one of those things where like, I'm working on 12 p.m. brand deals come in, and I'm like squeezing them in, right? I'm, doing all the things I would normally do, but it's like, okay, I have to get this done today, and I'm like barely getting it done to then do other things. And brands are asking for reshoots, and they're like, oh, and none of it is ever like, this isn't good, or this isn't what you said you were gonna do. It's just kind of like, actually, we would prefer this. Even though this is what you said you were gonna do, we would prefer this. And I'm like, I barely got it done the first time. Like I'm stretched thin. But in my mind, I'm also like, but I need to do it because the end goal is that you're happy with the content and happy with working with me. It was such a terrible spot to be in. And it was like back to back to back. Like I filmed some content in this room, which is our studio, which I set up so that, it could just be like clean, nice content, especially like if I feel like the closet is feeling too cluttered or whatever. And I filmed some beauty content in here, and the brand was like, oh, can you reshoot this? I thought you were going to film it in your closet. And I was like, well, you didn't ask me to film it in my closet. Like, no, like all I can say is no, because I broke my neck to do it the first time. And then it was like 2 days later, a brand was like, oh, can you reshoot this? And it was like such a flippant reason, like not, this isn't great or the quality's not good. It was just like, oh, can you just do this instead? Or actually, here's some content from you that we actually would prefer. Can you do it like this? It's too late for all that. So it was a rough time. And I was strained, and it was hard for me to produce organic content, which really frustrates me when I can't just, of course I want to do the branded things, but there's a balance of just doing things that I know people enjoy. There was no time for that. So it was just like, this isn't fun right now. We've moved past that, obviously, especially once, we got 2 weeks or a week from Christmas, then just brands and campaigns and things slow down. So I'm feeling a little more adjusted. January is always slow. So that's like good. Like, not that I don't want to make money, but good to just get adjusted. So I'm getting there. That was a good question. I feel like this is going to be a long ass video. Good question. I love when you share 12 p.m. stats. What's the hottest selling style to date? Where are you pulling inspiration for future styles? Any spoilers you can share? What's the hottest selling item to date? I want to say the top two. I can only say the top two because obviously it changes and the quantities of each drop change. But I want to say Toronto is our top, and probably neck and neck is Copenhagen, which we just launched. But that was the first time we launched with a really big unit amount. Being prepared for which was risky because I was like, I think this is going to be a really big seller. I really like it, and I just, based on Toronto doing really well, which is kind of that indoor-outdoor feel, a little bit of a retro feel, this is very similar, so I think it'll be good. And that we have, I think last time I checked, we had 20 units left, which has only been a month. So I think that's probably our newest top seller, but then Toronto. And then when we first launched, it was London Blue. So those are our tops. And then where do I pull inspiration from? We started with kind of basics, and really it's just my dream things. I'm very particular, but I can see something and be like, I would prefer this to have this, this, and this. So I kind of am usually when we have our design meetings, I'm kind of just talking through things I would like to have. I want a classic black frame, but I want it to be, the corners to be, really sharp. And I would when I did NYC, I want something across the top that's gonna be a moment when you look down. And at first I went through crystals, then I went through a metallic thing, but these are just ideas in my head. I look at vintage sunglasses a lot also, and then kind of try to refine them. So I'll just go through Google and just a bunch of archive websites to just look at things from the 60s and 70s. I do that a lot, and then just try to refine things, or things. I look at sunglasses on eBay as well that are vintage. And then just ideas and things that I don't see, or I see and I think can be done better. Any spoilers for our next drop? The next drop is Havana. I don't think that's a spoiler. Hopefully it launches Friday. customs will decide that. Like, it's always something. It's always something, but we'll see. We'll see. And then after that, I really don't know. I'm waiting for several samples right now, which is going to determine how those samples look, will determine when we launch spring things. So will you be bringing back Style Unlocked? That's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites too. I just don't know. It is one of those things, and it's crazy because I've never had something so successful, like stop something that was so successful. You know, usually I pivot from something and I'm like, oh, that's not working, or, you know, people don't love that anymore or whatever. I feel like we were just hitting our stride and we're just figuring things out with like the production, and we had just found a studio in New York, and, you know, Maya was getting really good with like the producing of the actual show, and like we were getting good with the games, and like our last show with Jenee James was like, okay, we're in our bag. This is how the show, you know, this is how it's gonna be, and now we can just keep replicating it. However, going into 12 p.m., it was just like one or the other. And Style Unlocked just costs me money. You know, as much as I love to do it, we never got to a point where we got sponsors for any episode, right? So it's like, and then it takes Maya away from doing other work. That also makes me money, right? So instead of doing affiliate links and LTK and ShopMy, she is watching, you know, Jenee James, she's watching all the interviews that she's done that are on the internet so that she can think of questions and games that she hasn't been asked a million times, right? So she's doing all that research. Then I am flying us, or we're both taking the train, me, her, and Josh, to get to New York. Then we're renting out the studio. And then I'm spending weeks, now, of course I could give this to somebody else, but I'm spending a week editing the show and doing all that just to put it up on YouTube for it to be one of the lowest viewed things on my page. As much as I love it, and some people do, a regular video might get 40 or 50,000 views. Style Unlocked usually gets 20. So then it's not even making me money AdSense wise as much as a normal content. So it just, to continue to stretch myself thin just to spend money, I don't got it right now. But I think I can set up certain parameters to get it back going. I think, you know, I find an editor, and, you know, we line up some sponsors and do something that it makes sense. And then we also, like, the last one we planned kind of fell apart, and I was already in this mindset where I was like, you know what, this is my sign. I booked the studio and we planned out an entire show, and then that person canceled and I lost my studio money. And I was just like, hey, enough. Cut the cameras. So we'll see. Let's cross our fingers. The editing in your pics and videos are fire. Thank you. I'd like to know if you did your editing in the beginning of your YouTube career. If so, what advice would you give? Simple techniques for editing. It's a lot of learning. I edit everything. I still edit everything. Well, Josh edits pictures, but we really don't do much. Like, he edits in a very professional way. Like, if he's editing a picture, it's like fixing shadows and lighting, or like the sidewalk, but mainly like shadows and light and something in the background. I stopped doing like editing of, like, it was sometime, I want to say maybe 2023. I stopped using filters, just like to make content, you know, even if they're fun, because I felt like I was getting, my perception of myself was getting warped. And then I also just stopped like smoothing my skin and like, because you know, then you hold up the camera and you're like, oh my God, I look hideous. No, you look like you. So I had to check myself. So we do a lot less editing on pictures. Now, like videos, like YouTube, stuff like that, I edit all of those. Reels, I edit all of those. I'm very particular about what I like and what I want. And I'm also like, I have the vision in my mind, which is why it's hard for me to give up editing. Because even if it's like a campaign, I'm creating the concept and then I'm creating the shot list. But in my mind, I also am thinking about how I'm going to edit it, which in turn dictates how I want it to be shot. And I'm like, oh, I know I want to go from this clip to that clip. We need to get this clip. So then I can't just give that to somebody else and expect them to know what's in my mind. So I would say it takes a lot of effort to learn. I'm somebody, when I don't know something, I'm doing all the Googles, and really everything is on YouTube. But now everything is even on TikTok, where you can like immerse yourself and then you just have to practice. And I still do that. I follow all the people that do all the things so I can like stay current on what's happening and then decipher if it's for me and matches like my content style or not. Okay, those are all the questions from YouTube. So let's go over to Instagram. Is Style Unlocked coming back? We already answered that. This is a good one. Do you still wear your designer sunglasses? Will you be selling any of your designer sunglasses? I go back and forth about this. I literally, because I was thinking about this because I was like organizing my closet and I was trying to make space for my 12 p.m. sunglasses. And of course my sunglass thing is like filled up. So I started putting sunglasses in a bag and I'm like, do I give these away? I wouldn't sell them. I would probably just give them to my friends. But then I'm like, do I keep them? Will I want to wear them one day? Because a lot of my sunglasses are pretty, classic styles. And when we were initially starting 12 p.m., in my mind, I was always like, I follow founders who, Jackie still wears other people's perfume, right? I follow, people that have clothing companies. They still wear other clothes or, shoe brands, and they still, wear other people's shoes. So I was like, of course I'll still wear sunglasses. But now that I'm in it, it's not even that I'm thinking, oh, I can't wear that. It's like, why would I? I don't know. I don't know if that's just because it's still so new. Because I feel like that about every collection. Every time something new comes out, that's my new favorite. So that's all I want to wear. So I don't know. Like in my mind, I will. But then it's like, I know if I'm out and somebody is like, oh my God, those sunglasses are so cute. Where they from? And they're not 12 p.m. I'm going to be livid at myself. But I don't know. It's a very interesting journey. We'll see. For now, it's really a no. Because I like mine. But that was my goal, and that was my like throughout the sampling process and before we launched, every time I would get a few samples, I'm like, I have to pick these over everything I have. And I love what I have. These are my go-tos, these are my favorites, they make me feel fabulous. I have to want to choose these over those. And for a long time I wasn't. Like I would have a sample and I'd be like, this is not better than what I have already. So, but we got there. What's your ultimate goal for 12 p.m.? Will it always be glasses or will you still clothes eventually? Probably never clothes. Again, I hate to say never, but I just am not passionate enough about clothes as much as I enjoy them. I don't feel like I have an interesting enough point of view. Again, I think it's important to know the purpose you serve in the market you're going into. And I don't know if I have that. And I don't even know if there's a void that needs to be filled. I feel very passionate about eyewear and what 12 p.m. brings to the current climate of that and like what we are and what we aren't. And I don't have that for clothing. If anything, it would be more of a accessories brand. The most I could see doing clothes would be coats. That's like I think the only thing I could be interested in, but I could get into like leather goods, gloves, hats even. But yeah. How did you blow up on social media? Was it by being stylish? Yes, but I don't consider myself blowing up on social media. It was I always say my route was very slow and steady. Now, that's relative, but I've never really went viral. People will say like, you had a viral video or you had a video once that had 1 million views. Viral to me is like, think about the stuff that goes viral and like people write articles about it, or people will be like, used to be on the Ellen show, like viral because someone made up a song, or viral because someone made up a trend or a dance, or I've probably had 5 videos in the 7 years I've been online get 1 million views. That's not like, no one knows me for whatever that thing was. And I think one might've been like, I couldn't tell you actually. I couldn't tell you. Usually if something even gets a lot of views is somewhere like TikTok and it's a bunch of rude comments. So that's not gonna bring me, and to me also when I say viral, I mean that brings an influx of followers. So even if you see that something got a lot of views, the virality didn't turn into blowing me up, right? Because on that post, like I could probably go to a few TikToks where it's literally just like people in another language saying rude things, because I'll translate the comment and it's just something super rude. So yeah, slow and steady has always been, but it was always having a point of view and then consistency. Like people just want to know you're going to do the thing they like every day. And you don't have to do it forever, but for a while. My page used to be, and I feel like when you see people that are blowing up or getting success, you go to their page and it's super repetitive. It's the same thing. My page used to be me in the mirror like this, taking a picture. That was all you saw. Scroll, 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 scroll. That's all I did. And that helped me grow really fast. Okay. How long was the full process of developing 12 p.m. Studios? 2 years. 2 years. We started in 2023. It was a very long, and even what we launched with, to me, wasn't what I wanted it to be, which is why we had to start with, like, I labeled it the essentials, because it was really just the most basic things, because that's all that was ready, and I could not keep pushing it off, because again, we needed to make the money back that was invested. So I'm gonna answer this just in case anyone's new, because I feel like I've said it a million times. Do you and Josh plan to start a family? No. No, we do not. Any thoughts? We are the family. Any thoughts about future of content creating? My thoughts are to stay resilient. I literally put that on my post today. There's just, I wouldn't say uncertainty. It's still a $1 billion industry. It's projected to make even more billions. But there is, it's still such a baby infant industry that people are still configuring how this is going to work. Like, things are changing every few months. Platforms are changing every few months. Brands and agencies and how they work and who they want to pay and how much they want to pay. All of that is going to continue to change. I think I just saw a TikTok last night where this guy was like, yeah, everybody's got to go back and get a job again because TikTok isn't paying. I'm someone who never signed up to be like in the creator thing that TikTok pays you. One, because I was never completely bought into TikTok. That's another conversation. But it provided a lot of people with a false sense of reality. Same way YouTube did a few years ago when people were making so much money on YouTube, then they just switched and changed how they did Google AdSense, and then people went from making this much money to this much money. That's going to continue to happen based on just how these platforms want to work, how they, how much brands are paying the platforms or paying the creators. So my thought process is to stay resilient, be ready to pivot to whatever needs to work. That could be a new platform, or that could just be the way platforms are working. Instagram just rolled out. Now it's not about engagement on your post, and if they push it, it's about if your post gets people to come to your page and look around longer. Staying in the know. Focusing on whatever platform is your platform, but staying abreast of everything that is happening on that platform and what they're prioritizing is my best tip. When you're doing a pop-up in Atlanta, if we do a pop-up, or when we do a pop-up, the order will probably be, and this also just is determined by opportunity. Like, the only pop-up we've ever done was with Nordstrom. That opportunity came to us, so that means we don't have to pay for it. So again, if that happens with someone else, that's great, because we still have to pay for us all to get there, and for us to stay there and to get our product there. So even though the Nordstrom thing was free, it still cost our company. But based on our demographics and our top selling cities, it would be New York first, DC, and then Atlanta. And DC and Atlanta switch back and forth. So Atlanta is definitely up there as a place that we will have something and do something. What do you do to stay fit? I don't do a lot. I'm not going to lie. But my weight does fluctuate. And I feel like now I'm just kind of like, I've been steady at, I kind of would say just my like way I'm supposed to be. I don't know. I've always went between a 4 and an 8. And that just depends on stress, life, eating habits, travel, all of those things. And that's, I feel like, since I've been on the internet. I probably started on the internet at a size 4. And then when I was very stressed at work, when I was still working at Target, I think I was probably like a size 8 when I quit. And then like the following summer, like 2019, I got down to like a 6. Then during COVID, I feel like I went between a 6 and an 8 for a long time. And then COVID was over and I started doing fashion weeks, and I got back down to a 6, and then I got back down to a 4 because the samples wasn't fitting. And I've kind of been at a 4 for like the last 2 years. So that's where we are. And to do that, I just stopped overeating. Like, I'm someone who loves to eat. I enjoy eating. I'm a snacker, but I just like if I have something good to watch on TV, I want something good to eat. Like, so just like, and I don't even not do that anymore. I started with just doing it, like cutting it in half. So me and Josh, like if we would go somewhere, what we would usually get, we would just split it. You know, even if we got 2 things, we would just split it. Same thing with like what I would typically snack on or watch TV eating, like just eating half. And then over time, you just get fuller quicker because you're eating less and your body is used to you eating less. And then I just tried to move my body every day. I don't do high intensity workouts. I also realized that's just like not conducive to what my body needs. I used to do Orange Theory and just like all these things that I wasn't getting any smaller, or I wasn't able to maintain it. Even when I did get smaller, like at one point I used to be able to like, okay, I can run every day on the treadmill and, you know, watch what I eat and I'll, you know, get back down to a 4. But then it's like, I would go right back. That's why my weight fluctuated so much. Cause I'm like, this isn't sustainable. And I saw something online where this person was like, whatever you do to lose weight, just know you have to do that for the rest of your life. And I was like, I damn sure can't be running every day. No, I got it. So that's when I started just eating a little less and just trying to move my body. And it took a lot longer for the weight to come off, but then I've been able to maintain it. Like I don't work out as much anymore. Like I'll do stretches, a little bit of Pilates, a little, like right now I'm toning because I just want my back a little more toned because I haven't been doing stuff for a while. But whatever you do, be ready to do it forever. So think about that and move accordingly. And if it takes a little longer, that's okay. But I also just hate talking about it. Like, that's not my area of expertise. Like, how do you stay creative and motivated? Creativity ebbs and flows. Motivation ebbs and flows. I just stay on routine. That's it. I just stay on routine. On Tuesdays, like Mondays is my admin day. We sit, we plan, we think, we mind melt, we do all the things. Tuesdays is when I film the things. Wednesday I try to have off. Thursdays I film the things. Fridays another admin day. Weekends are open if I have a creative output or burst, or I'm behind and I didn't get to something during the week. But Tuesday and Thursday is when the things happen. Now, how creative they may be, right? Like if I don't have that burst of creativity, then I might do something where I'm just sitting down talking, as opposed to like styling some things or just using my creative muscle, working my creative muscle. But that's what helps me, because sometimes I'm super creative and then sometimes I'm not. And then sometimes it depends on the platform. And it's like, oh, I have all these TikTok ideas. And then I have all these YouTube ideas. I don't have anything for TikTok. Consistency and just routine help the most. What glasses would I recommend for round faces? I would recommend Aspen. I think Toronto will be too narrow. I would recommend Aspen is great for just wider faces in general. I would say even London, because it's so angular. I think Copenhagen will make your round face look rounder because it's more rounded edges. Possibly NYC. NYC, Aspen, London is what I would try. Either of those. When is Toronto Smoke and Yellow restocking? Hopefully in February. Have you started mood board for February Fashion Week? If so, what's the vibe? I haven't, and I honestly do that less. It's just, I have different priorities now. Like right now we're planning an event for 12 p.m. for Fashion Week. So it's just like a different way of thinking. If I go to things, I'll probably be dressed. I'll take, the extras to make sure I have things, the right shoes, gloves, coats, and then like a few casual looks in case, I go to someone's event or party or something like that. Just things I want to get off. But it's less of what it used to be. And I'm like, I can go there and do 12 p.m. and come back home. And that's how I felt the last Fashion Week. Like I was worried about my event and everything else was like, oh, great. If, that comes through. If it doesn't, I could also just go home early. That's where I am with it. That's a good one. If you had to wear one brand for the rest of your life, what would it be? trying to think of a brand that has something for everything. Like right off the top of my head, so much spam. Right off the top of my head is Schiaparelli. That is just like dream clothing. It's also just so expensive, but they have something for everything. Like they have jeans, they have jackets, they have casual things, they have coats, they have bags, they have shoes, they have, you know, couture, they have evening gowns, they have skirts, they have suits. Everything. I could also do Alaya, but it's like they changed so much with the creative director. The creative director is leaving Alaya, so who knows what the fuck that's gonna be next year. I think, you know, Daniel Roseberry is staying at Schiaparelli. He seems to be happy there, so maybe that. Also, like the Attico is a brand I really, really love. This is the Attico. But like I like their bags. I like, you know, their dresses. I have sweatsuits from them. I have jeans from them. Like I feel like that's a brand I probably have the most of in my closet. I feel like my style is very similar to like just how they design. It's like girly, a mix of like feminine and masculine. So maybe that's a good one. How do you think your style has evolved from when you started versus now? I was literally just thinking about this because I put up a post today. Just like a recap for people that are new. I feel like a lot of people will find me and be like, oh, it's just so easy for you to, that's why you're popular or you have a big platform because you have a lot of money. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Or like, you know, how does somebody start that doesn't do luxury? Like I started wearing Forever 21. What are we talking about? So I like to kind of share the journey every couple of months because one, that's just not what it takes to build a following. That's just not what it takes. Like we're losing the plot. But I also get people that will say like, wow, your style has come a long way. You really, like your style is totally different now. And in my mind, I'm like, it's not really that different. You know, the brands are different. The price points for some things might be different. I may have streamlined and, you know, I probably try less. I feel like being on the internet just makes you, at one point, I definitely felt like it was my job to try all the things so that you didn't have to and like report back, right? Like any trend, even if I knew it wasn't my vibe, I do less of that now and I just kind of stick to what I like. But even when I went back and was like getting pictures for the post I made today, I'm like, this is all the same stuff I wear now. There was a picture where I had on like these cowboy boots and I'm like, oh, I wish I still had those. There's another picture I had on like just a blazer and some leather shorts. I'm like, I would wear that now. There's another picture where I had on ripped jeans and like just a little tank top. And I was like, oh, I wish I still had that tank top. But I was like, those jeans are like the jeans I have on today. There were several things in like every swipe that I did. And then there would be like random things like, you know, a baby doll dress. Like I don't really wear stuff like that anymore, but that's also like, that was a trend at the time. And I felt it was my duty to try the things and see if we liked the things. Oh, sorry, I lost the question. Oh, so how did my style evolve? I think I just honed in on how I like to feel and how I like to present and being okay with having a look. Like I always knew growing up, like I wanted a signature hairstyle. Like I wanted people to see me and know it's me. But then at some point on the internet, I felt like, well, if I have a signature style of like the things I know I like, people are going to get bored and not want to follow me and like not want to be here and just say like, I wear the same things. And I would see people say that to other people like, oh, you just wear the same things over and over again. This is like the last outfit. So I'm like, okay, I have to like, you know, keep it fresh and like keep trying all the things and doing all the things. I just realized I'm not going to do that. And so either this is your vibe or it's not. I can't be the guinea pig so that you're entertained and I look crazy. Because I would do that sometimes and then look back at pictures and it also helped me. I used to do videos of like worst outfits or, you know, outfits I would never wear again. And it was always those kind of outfits where it's like, you knew that wasn't what you liked or what your vibe was. But in my mind, I felt like it was my job. So I feel like that's how it's evolved, where I just stick to what I like. I know what I like. I like a mix of you know, I always say casual but extra, hard and soft, you know, glam but a little street. I like distressed jeans. I like over the top, you know, feathers, furs, things that are very fabulous. I like Western. I like a cowboy hat. I like hats in general. But I like a blazer. I like a suit. I've really gotten away from like, oh, well, I wear a suit to everything. I don't care. I feel great in suits. They make me feel powerful. They make me feel confident. So every time I need to speak or do something where the spotlight is on me, I'm going to wear a suit. I'm going to wear something with strong shoulders. I'm going to wear something. I like my legs. I like mini skirts. That's just what it's going to be. And that's okay. So that's how it's evolved. My mindset has, I think we're done. That was a great note to end on. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to put this up Wednesday. So stay tuned. Someone asked for the link to 12 p.m. Of course, that will be below. It's always in the description box. And then hopefully Havana will be out soon. It is, to me, it's the best thing we've done. To me and Josh, it's the best thing we've done so far. It's just why it's taken so long. It was supposed to come out with the winter collection, but it's the most expensive thing we've made, and it's the most intricate thing we've made so far. And it comes in 2 colors, a green and a brown. It's beautiful. This is definitely one, if you want to share with your man, you can. This is Josh's favorite. It also looks good on me. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. And I'll see you in the next video. Of course, let me know what you want to see below. I think we should probably do a shop with me. It's been a long time. But anything else, leave it below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.